After taking shelter in a mansion near Jackson, Abby remains steadfast in her mission to kill Joel, while her friends, concerned about the town's security, consider retreating. Meanwhile, Ellie tells Jesse that she wants to go on patrol with Joel, but Jesse informs her that he has already left with Dina. And this was the first big change from the video game, since Joel was originally on patrol with his brother Tommy. But I actually think the switch up works better here, because as she starts to scope out Jackson, Abby accidentally awakens a large horde of infected hiding under the snow. And when the infected tendrils in Jackson are discovered, the horde of infected is redirected into the town, leading to a battle in which Jackson suffers heavy damage and casualties. And this entire sequence was absolutely incredible. It was so good that I felt like I was watching an episode of Game of Thrones or something. And if the infected were a horde of White Walkers, then that would make Tommy Jon Snow, since he basically acted as the de facto leader of the town. A heroic leader at that, since he saves his wife Maria from a bloater by drawing it away and killing it with a flamethrower. And that awesome boss battle is only part of how fantastically tense and scary the rest of the battle actually was. But as all of that chaos is underway, Abby is saved by none other than Joel himself. Yes, the person that she hates most in the world briefly manages to be her savior, but that doesn't change her ultimate goal here. So she lures Joel and Dina to the mansion, convincing them that her friends can help with defending Jackson, but we all know that that isn't true. So the group knocks out Dina, and after Abby reveals herself to be the daughter of the Firefly doctor who Joel killed at the hospital, she shoots him in the leg and brutally beats him with a golf club. Then, Ellie, who has been spending this entire time searching for Joel and Dina, is captured and forced to watch as Abby kills Joel by stabbing him in the neck with her broken club. Which didn't happen in the video game, so I assume it was placed here so that the television audience wouldn't in any way be confused about what exactly happened here. Joel is really dead, and he's never coming back. So Ellie naturally swears to kill Abby and her friends, but the group leaves, forcing Ellie to have a brief moment with Joel's dead body. And this moment was brutal. I mean, I got emotional watching the scene, and I knew it was coming. But everything about the scene was done perfectly. The acting was superb, the makeup and visual effects were outstanding, the direction and the pacing of the scene worked really well, everything was in service of getting the scene just right, and I think the showrunners definitely nailed it. Even the little subtle changes from the video game worked for me, like how Dina was present instead of Tommy, since that allowed her to get the names of Abby and her crew, which is vital information that she provides in the video game, but we don't have to spend so much time on how she got that information. I am curious to see how this will affect Tommy's story though, since him witnessing Joel's death does play a huge part in the decisions that he makes in the game. Will his death have the same impact on Tommy in the show if he wasn't actually there to see it? We'll just have to wait to find out, because as Jackson begins to recover from the carnage of the battle, Ellie, Dina, and Jesse return home with Joel's body. And while we're on that note, why'd they have to drag his body through the snow? I mean, wasn't his horse still at the mansion? Couldn't they have plopped him on top as they went along with their horses? I don't know, seeing his body getting dragged just felt like the final punch in the gut. It was a brutal sequence, and I don't know how fans of the series are reacting to the episode, but I thought it was handled brilliantly. As a matter of fact, it may just be my favorite episode of the series so far. And I know that may be a controversial opinion, but that's honestly just the way I feel. Joel's death is such an important turning point for the entire narrative that its impact, for better or worse, cannot be understated, and I thought the execution of the moment was pretty damn flawless. So I don't understand how anyone could not be impressed by the storytelling that's taking place here. And I'm definitely interested in seeing where the show goes next, because unless it cuts between both Ellie and Abby's respective character journeys, Abby is basically absent from this part of the video game. And I can't imagine the show would want to keep Caitlin Dever away for too long, especially with how good her performance was in this episode. So she, along with Bella Ramsey, will now have to carry the rest of the series on their shoulders. Thankfully, they're both two incredibly talented actresses, and I know they'll both be up to the task. But how viewers will respond to the lack of Pedro Pascal remains to be seen. Either way, I guess we'll see how the fallout of Joel's death will play out in the next episode of The Last of Us once it gets released on Sunday.